The first part of our winter landscape is finding a piece of newspaper, and we are looking for just the words in the newspaper to paint. So these will be turned into our trees. For the most part, they're probably going to be green. You can try to mix a little bit if you'd like. And when you're mixing, I think you might see a little bit of yellow in the trees. Kind of gives them a little lighter look. You might also see a little bit of blue. Not entirely blue, but maybe mixed with the green. So if your newspaper piece has pictures, don't even paint them. We're going to be using the part of our newspaper that has words. So we're all starting with the green painting. When your newspaper is green, we're going to give that a little break to dry. So my newspaper, I did not paint that top part with the picture, and then this whole bottom part had big words and pictures. I'm not even going to paint that. If you can paint about one square green, that's all you're going to need. So I think that's going to be plenty for my project. Then I am going to move to the printing station. At the printing station, you are going to have white paint on a plate, and you're going to have that bubble wrap to paint. Somebody may have already painted this bubble wrap for you. So if they've done that, if you already see white on it, you can still add a little bit more paint. I am trying to paint this without pushing too hard. I don't want to pop those bubbles. This bubble print is a little bit bigger than our papers, but that's okay. So I'm getting a nice layer with my big brush of the white paint. And then I'm going to lay my big paper on top of it. So this big paper should fit on here pretty nice. I'm going to lay it down and I'm going to smooth it gently with my hands. Then I'm going to pick it up, and I should have a nice paper that looks like it just snowed on it. It has a printed texture. I'm going to bring this to my table spot, and I am going to be ready to put it all together. When I get back to my spot, I am noticing that this newspaper is almost dry. So as it finishes drying, I'm going to take that long white piece of paper, and I'm going to cut some kind of a wavy line the long way to make it look like snow. I should have one scrap piece, and then I am going to glue down this long white snow at the bottom of my printed paper. Look at that awesome texture. So this part's really important, that when you glue this down, you don't have a space at the bottom. You slide it way down so it lines up at the bottom of your paper as best as you can. Then, this green should be fairly dry. I'm going to cut that piece off that I didn't paint. And my job with my scraps is to make 5 triangles. If you would rather draw them on first, you can. If you're pretty good at cutting a triangle shape, I'm trying to cut nice and smooth my best triangle. And I want my 5 to be kind of different sizes. So this one, I'm going to have to cut it a little smaller because the bottom is not green. This one's, I would say, a medium-sized triangle. I'm going to try to cut a really tall one. And this tall one's probably going to be kind of skinny. That's okay. If you have room to cut more than 5 trees, you can, but 5 is going to be our magic number. You have to have 5. There's a tiny one and a bigger one. Our job is to glue these triangles down onto our snowy grass. But there's something we need to think about. We need to think about things in the front look bigger. What does that mean? Well, if I put my trees down on my paper, I'm going to want the big ones to be close to the bottom of my paper. and the smaller ones behind it, a little bit back. I don't want my trees floating in the air. That's kind of silly. But I do want them to touch the white somewhere. That one should probably be towards the bottom because it's bigger. And this one should probably be towards the bottom. This one's pretty tiny. I might even cut that a little tinier to really make it look like it's far away, but it's still touching the snow. Then all I need are a few dots of glue on the back. If you would like to take the oil crayons that are at your table and add a little bit of branch texture onto your trees, you can do that. I have found that if you do that with wet glue on it, sometimes it does rip. So I might do this on my scrap newspaper to the side before I glue. So you could use, oh, see, that even ripped because it wasn't totally dry. So you just want to make sure that your newspaper is not dry, or sorry, your newspaper is not wet or still painted on. I'm hoping you have better luck with yours than I did. I'm going to glue all 5 of those trees down to show space. If you want to put the texture in, you can. And then another choice is if you want to use a little yellow in the back for some kind of a sun in the sky, it will color on top of your paper pretty nicely. I'm going to kind of rub it, and I might even smear it to really make it look like it's really sunny out in my landscape. When you're all finished, it's going to go in the drying rack.